Welcome back everyone to my Arsenal save on FM16 and welcome to the season finale. We are set to take on Stoke in the final game at the Emirates, and if this was real life we'd probably be lifting the Premier League trophy for the first time at the Emirates as well. Elsewhere you've got Leicester taking on Man City, Manchester United against Chelsea, you've got Liverpool and Watford. Some big games there for the final day. United, they have to win because their position just isn't good enough, really. They're in 7th. Here is the league table, though, as it stands. We've already won the Premier League title, but we go into the last game with not the best of form. Tottenham will finish 2nd, City will finish 3rd, and Stoke, who we are set to play, have already been relegated, so I'm expecting a really poor performance from them in this game. Well, I hope so anyway, unless they really want to go all out, go out on a high on the Premier League, go down fighting, if anything. In the last episode, you saw that we got knocked out of the Champions League by PSG, and after that, look at this, we lost 3-0 to Southampton. Our form just continued to decline after we got knocked out of the Champions League semi-final by PSG, and then we went and drew against Bournemouth. We couldn't even win there, even though it was at home. But to be fair, we have lost a lot of key players due to injury. I just want to get this season over and done with now, just so we can start a new one. For Stoke, though, they're without a full-time manager. They've got caretaker manager Gary Neville, who's done an alright job in the last 3 games. They drew against Newcastle United and Manchester United, also got 3 points against Liverpool, but it wasn't enough to secure them safety in the Premier League, and I'm not sure how long Stoke have been without Mark Hughes as manager. I think it's just all been Gary Neville for the last 5 or 6 games. I'm not seeing a headline there, but as you just saw, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank is in line to take the job, his favourite. But looking at their team, we could probably come in here and snatch a few of their players once the window opens. Maybe Shaqiri, maybe Jack Butland. We'll see what happens. The final team sheets are in for the final game of the season. You will notice that Gonzalo Higuain is back for Arsenal, but starts on the bench. He wasn't fully match fit for this game. So Danny Welbeck starts up front, Joel Campbell, Walcott, Ramsey, Xhaka, exactly the same back 4 for Arsenal, and Cech in goal. There is Higuain on the bench. I will most certainly be bringing him on in the second half, see if we can get a good performance out of him. Chances of that very slim, seeing that he's only really just come back from a long-term injury. But for Stoke, they've got Juve starting up front, Bojan just behind, Shaqiri out on the left, Imbula, Arnautovic out on the right, Demichelis, Shawcross, Cameron, Butland. You know, when you look at that team for Stoke, there's no excuse really for them getting relegated, but I suppose with all the manager movement, because they got rid of Mark Hughes, then they brought in Villas-Boas, and obviously he got sacked, and now it's Gary Neville that's the caretaker. So here we go anyway, the final game at the Emirates. Once the referee blows the whistle for full time, we will be lifting that Premier League trophy, and there we go, there is the first goal. Fantastic. It is Laurent Koscielny that makes it 1-0 with just 4 minutes gone on the end of that free kick. And what a boost, what a lift. We certainly needed that after that disgusting draw against Bournemouth, a game that we really should have won. Here comes Stoke now. Nicely done by Xhaka to intercept that. Campbell picks out Danny Welbeck perfectly. Welbeck just storming through the Stoke defence. Oh, and he hits the crossbar. Almost doubled Arsenal's lead with that great run into the box. Right, I'm going to switch to whipped crosses because it is chucking it down, as we saw from the replay of Koscielny's goal. We've got another free kick here from Stoke. Shaqiri whips it in. It's dangerous. Come on, Ozil, you need to be getting to that. Campbell comes in. And Koscielny, that header away, but it's not enough to deter Stoke from attacking. They've got another free kick here. Shaqiri into the box. Come on, Welbeck, come forwards. That's it, Bellerin. On to Campbell. He's just overtouched that. But Welbeck picks up the loose ball. Here is Walcott into the Stoke penalty area at the far post, and Campbell went for goal, and it was blocked. We've got a corner. 50 minutes gone, Walcott to take, whips it in. That's going to be another corner. Can we do anything? Can we double our lead? It would be nice. Would make things a little bit more comfortable. Time for Welbeck to bow out and be replaced by Higuain. Can he come on and make an impact after being out for a long time with injury? I'm sure we're going to find out. Stoke, Shaqiri with that. I might have to put an offer in for Shaqiri. He's delivered some cracking balls into the box. And here is Higuain. He's just overtouched that, but he still keeps hold of it. Higuain finds Walcott, and it is 2-0. 2-0 to Arsenal with just 10 minutes to go. That's Walcott's 14th goal of the season. Can he maybe get one more before that final whistle and make it 15 goals for the season? That'd be almost a perfect season for Theo Walcott, you know, being a winger and everything. Ozil. Oh, it's 3. It is 3-0 to Arsenal, and it is Lauren Koscielny who's on for a hat-trick now with 7 minutes or so to go in this game. Nicely delivered from Ozil, that free kick, and Koscielny jumping above the rest to make it 3. It's exactly what I expected. It's what I wanted as well, seeing that Stoke have already been relegated from the Premier League. I did want a really good performance, and we can make it 4 here, and we do. It is Gonzalo Higuain who gets his 31st goal of the season right on the 90th minute, and he does look absolutely delighted. You can just imagine it, can't you? You know, coming back from a long-term injury and grabbing a goal on the very last game of the season. You know, being Arsenal's top goal scorer as well. He's picking up where he left off. Arsenal 4, Stoke 0. We saw 58% of the ball. We had 16 shots, 6 on target. 4 of those were scored, obviously. The perfect way to end an almost perfect season. Our form did kind of suffer slightly towards the end, but the final game of the season at home, already been crowned champions, a 4-0 win over Stoke. Almost a perfect end to the season. Elsewhere, you had Leicester lose 3-1 to Man City at home. Manchester United beat Chelsea 1-0 at Old Trafford. That was a win that they needed, as they do now push up to 6th, but still not good enough for Manchester United, a team that really should be challenging for the title. Gunners meet expectations in dominant win. It was really good performance that from Arsenal. Koscielny with 2 goals. Campbell close to triggering his clause for making 10 appearances, and West Brom have sacked Steve McLaren. It could be Mark Hughes or Gary Monk or Guidolin that takes over. Elsewhere in the sack race, you got Mourinho 3-1 to leave United, Ranieri 3-1 also to leave Leicester. I think United will hold on to Mourinho now. I think, well, we'll see what happens in the next day or two, but I think if United were to sack him, they would have sacked him by now. Looks like they're keeping their faith in him. We've been given £21.50 million for achieving top spot in the Premier League. The squad bonus payouts have been made, £7 million to be shared amongst the players, and Arsenal blow hurts Neville. He was only caretaker. Atletico Madrid have won La Liga. You don't see this very often, especially on FM. It's normally between Barcelona and Real Madrid, but Atletico Madrid have pulled it out the bag. I mean, look at that. Oh, they won it by a point as well. 89 points for Atletico, 88 for Barcelona. Real Madrid just behind by a couple more points. But Atletico Madrid winning La Liga, I can't say I've come across that often, especially on FM 16. I'm not sure if any of you guys have. Let me know if you have in the comments below. There's a couple of sackings that's happened here as well. Sevilla have got rid of Sam Paoli. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Wow, Luis Enrique, 5-1 to be sacked by Barcelona. Tell you what, if that job comes available, I might even put in might declare my interest. Roma have won Serie A. Fiorentina have sacked their manager. So many sackings at the very last game of the season. There is my Derrida report. It's a player that I was thinking about signing, but it doesn't look like it's worthwhile going by my scouts' opinion. Sanchez has been named Footballer of the Year. Let's just go and be passionate. Congratulations on winning the English Footballer of the Year. There we go. It's a good reaction from him. Higuain has claimed the Players' Player of the Year. 22 goals in 27 games. He certainly deserves it. What a player, what a signing he has been for us this season. It was just unfortunate that towards the end he got that injury which saw him out for a couple of months. It was very disappointing, and obviously he's been knocked off the top goal scorer for the majority of the season. He took top spot there with the most goals scored. Petr Cech has won the Golden Glove. He made 37 appearances, conceded only 32 goals, and kept 18 clean sheets. That's fantastic. That's exactly what you want in a goalkeeper. But I do think our defence played a big part in that as well. His average rating was 7.03. We're going to go and congratulate him as well. You've worked hard. Well done. It's been a good year. Most certainly has. Winning Arsenal's first league title in over 10 years. It's not good enough really, but we've finally broken that duck, can you say, by winning the title. You can see that Cech, Koscielny and Higuain have been named in the Players' Team of the Year, and Sanchez as well. Almost missed Sanchez, but Kompany, Nyom, Willian, Silva, Sterling, they all make the Team of the Year as well. What else do we have here? Frankfurt sacked their manager. Let's keep on moving. Let's see what else happens here. Luke Shaw in contract talks with Manchester United. You're going to get any more headlines? Again, just going back to Manchester United, you know, with Mourinho being in that sack race, being 3-1 to be sacked, I think if United were going to sack him, they would have done it by now because the season's well and truly over. Konoplyanka has committed his future to Sevilla. No way, the 26-year-old midfielder. I was actually thinking about putting a bid in for him once that window opened. But because he's put pen to paper, I suppose we could still go after him, but we would probably have to fork out quite a bit of dosh now to get him here at Arsenal. I don't think it's going to happen. I'll have to look elsewhere, look at my options, see what happens in the transfer window. But that will all be saved for the next episode for Season 2, of course. We've got a couple of headlines here. We've got an under-21 that's been injured. Couple more. Oh, Hasselbank. No way. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank has gone to FC Twente. So he will not be joining Stoke. He was, I think he was the front runner for the Stoke job. Most certainly not going to be happening for them now, is it? We got any more headlines? Anything worthy? Doesn't look like it. We've got Martinez that asks to discuss personal matters. I didn't even have to use Espina, let alone Martinez this season. I'm not sure he's got a place in this team. I'll have to see what happens in this transfer window that's coming up for the summer. I'll probably end up sending him out on loan, or maybe if a good offer comes in, maybe sell him on. But I've got so many options. I know what I want to do in this summer transfer window. I know I'm going to be spending big because this season we made it to the semi-finals of the Champions League. That is kind of an accomplishment in itself, but for Arsenal, I want to be getting to the final and I want to be winning that trophy for the first time in the club's history. And to do that, we're going to have to strengthen. I mean, what we missed this season, especially in those 2 games against PSG, was the quality in depth. We had Higuain, Stones and so on out injured. If we didn't, if they were available for those 2 games, I think we would have had an even better chance of getting to the final. I mean, look at what we did against Barcelona and Bayern Munich. I mean, we dominated Bayern Munich on both occasions in the group stage, and we also knocked out Barcelona again, which is an accomplishment in itself. But it was just those few injuries which cost us. So if we can really strengthen and bring in quality in depth for this transfer window, I should say, for the upcoming season, then I think we can certainly have a good crack at the Champions League, and we could go even further than this season. And who knows, maybe we can lift that Champions League trophy for the first time in Arsenal's history. That'd be really nice, and it'd be a nice way to probably end FM16. Unless, of course, I decide to do a 3rd season. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Maybe things will go, I don't want to speak too loudly, but maybe things will all go pear-shaped like they did in my Shrewsbury save. Maybe I'll go and get sacked, but I'm hoping that doesn't happen. It shouldn't happen if I'm given the budget in the summer to bring in quality, which we desperately need. But there we go. I mean, it was a perfect Premier League campaign, I think, for Arsenal. Look at that start. Look at all those wins we racked up. Perfect. It was just those injuries towards the end which really cost us. Players like Aaron Ramsey, though, who was a constant feature in this Arsenal team this season. He started 33 games. He was fit for the majority of those. Hardly got an injury either. Came off the bench 3 times. Only scored 4 goals, but that wasn't his job to be scoring those goals this season. It was about being in midfield, creating those opportunities for the forwards. I mean, he made 3,373 passes. That's a pass rate of 79%. It's not bad. And his overall rating is 7.53, and he's only going to get better. He's still at 25. It's still a young age in football, yet to reach his peak. Hector Bellerin was another player, only 21, and what a player he's been. His best performances came in the Premier League, 27 games for him. Overall, 7.88 average rating. That is fantastic. He was a lot better in the FA Cup, but that was for only 1 game. I mean, the majority of those FA Cup fixtures I did start a week aside, but Bellerin, an incredible player for this team, and I don't think much else needs to be said about Gonzalo Higuain. I mean, look at his stats for this season. 25 games in the Premier League, 22 goals. He performed a lot better in the Champions League in those 7 games, getting a 7.88 rating, starting 7 games, scoring 8 goals, but the Premier League was our main focus this season. Hopefully next season we can work on that Champions League a bit more. But apart from that, he's come into Arsenal like a whirlwind, a breath of fresh air. He was the marquee signing that we was looking for, and he hasn't let us down at all, and neither has this one, Alexis Sanchez. He's got another 2 to 4 weeks to go until he's back from that broken ankle, but before he was injured, I mean, look at his performances in the Premier League. An average rating of 7.87 in the Premier League, 24 games started, 14 goals scored. Again, it wasn't all about the goal scoring, it was about making a nuisance of yourself when coming up against the opposition, especially as an inside forwards, cutting in, waiting for that overlap. And we had so much success down that left side when Sanchez was starting, but as you can see, as we had those injuries, our form started to decline. We was picking up losses from everywhere pretty much, but apart from that, you know, it's been a really good season. Really pleased, really chuffed with it, and it's certainly a platform for us to build on come next season. We've got a budget of 71 million to work with. Who I spend that money on? Well, you guys are just going to have to stay tuned for the start of Season 2, which will be coming up very soon. I know who I want to be bringing in. I've got a really good idea. They will be marquee signings, no doubt about that. So you're just going to have to stay tuned for Season 2. The end of season awards for Arsenal. The Fans Player of the Season goes to Alexis Sanchez. The goal of the season goes to Danny Welbeck, of all players, who was out for the majority of the season. Was out for the start, came back around about January time, and it was this goal against Swansea. Some of you guys might remember it a bit earlier on in this series. It was a cracker as well. Here is Danny Welbeck. Wasn't even picked up by any of the Swansea players outside the penalty area. Comes to him, hits it first time, and just curls it around slightly around the goalkeeper and finds the bottom corner. Nicely done, and we'll watch that one more time. Slow down the speed. Oh, what's going on here? Right, let's do that again, shall we? Wasn't as clear as I'd like it. There we go. Ozil finds Welbeck. Lets the ball bounce a couple of times, then hits it first time on the inside of his boot. Beautifully done. And it was a good win as well against Swansea. Signing of the season goes to Gonzalo Higuain from Napoli. We got him for 47.75 million with add-ons, which I think bumped it up to about 60 million in the end. And there is the team of the season as well. Cazorla comes in. He didn't really get many starts. I'm surprised Xhaka wasn't in there instead. But John Stones, Monreal, Cech, they're all in the team of the season. And the young player of the season is Hector Bellerin at the age of 21. The season review, Arsenal have been expected to make much of the Premier League title run and lived up to their pre-season billing by finishing top of the pile. We lost to PSG in the semi-final, we won the Premier League, we lost in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Our match of the season was that 6-0 win at home to Leicester. I do remember this very fondly. Ozil, Walcott, Sanchez with 2 goals there. A perfect performance. And the moment to forget was that 3-0 loss to Southampton. Our average attendance looked about 94% full, 56,820. Not bad. Could be better. Hopefully we can draw that in with the marquee signings next season. Right, teammate, and the season is over and it's time for you to go. Deserve break. I want every... Qualify for the Champions League next season? No, I don't think that's... It's been a great season. Go away and get yourselves rested now because we're going to do it again next season. And I'm going to be passionate as well for this. Or shall I be calm? I'm going to go for the last one. We're going to do it all again next season. It would be nice to win the title back-to-back. But as I've already said, the Champions League will be my main priority. That's a really good reaction as well by the team. We can do it. Nicely done. Off they go then on their holidays. End of season competence review from the boards. Everything looking good. I'm sure they'll keep me here at the Emirates as well. They seem really happy with the performances of Hector Bellerin. We've got a scout report for the Premier League. What we've got here, Walsh's yearly training summary. I'll go through all this as well. off camera concerning performances on training picture, Petr Cech, Danny Welbeck and so on. We've got pre-season start date. I normally have my pre-season for 5 weeks. That's what we'll do. Anyway guys, that's going to be about it for this episode. That's it for Season 1. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do appreciate all the support shown towards the series so far by you guys commenting, smashing that like button and so on. It's been brilliant. So thank you very much, and I'll see you all back here very soon for Season 2.